Travis Wayne Goodsell. Got back from my run and was going to do a whole planned video for you, but I needed to find a picture that I had made from my discovery, and it took almost 45 minutes to find it. But I found it. Alright, so Jailbreak was AC/DC's song playing as I finished my run this morning. Technically it was Mistress for Christmas, but I was in the apartment at that point in time. And that's why it spurned the memory, because as I showed you on the picture that I searched for and finally found, you can see that the church created a troublemaker file, which is called a blacklist. And that the purpose for the files was that I had deciphered Paleo-Hebrew. They identified me as a translator. And that's why you don't hear about me. You don't see me among their list of concerns for apostasy. It's because they don't want anybody knowing about me. See, people know about John Dehlin. You know, he's got multi-thousands of followers. And people are aware of Denver Snuffer, who for some reason has tricked Mormons into leaving and following him. I don't get that. I've gone to his site, I've read over his documents. I don't get it. And then there's Christopher, who is a clever, creative author of fiction, who did a very good job writing the sealed portion and has caused Mormons to apostatize from the church. And then there's the Boise apostates, who I think it was Ballard who went up there to chastise. Then there's the Rexburg apostates, who are the afterlife fantasy landers, one of which married the Mormon goddess murderer for this apocalypse, which she may have actually killed her kids, as last report indicates. That was the religion's intention. And so, yeah, you guys don't know about me for a good reason. The church had my comments, which back before 2008, you put your name on the comments, and so I couldn't find my comments. I think I did find a couple of them, but those were non-Mormon related. Because Mormon comments were hard for me to get on there. Religious comments, anything of that nature. But the few that I did get on there, gone. For example, Benson's R-rated quote, gone. Except for the woman who commented by saying, "No! You're wrong." No, I'm right. Go back and read it yourself. There's no period. He throws in the word that, which means the sentence keeps on going. Thus the meaning is going to change. Warning! Warning! And the other one was, I was pointing out that Hubble was not the discoverer of the Big Bang Theory. It was a French Catholic priest, and so his comment was, "What do you think they called the Hubble telescope after Hubble?" You dumbass. But now it's all over Google. People are dumb. But the church censored me. They deleted all my comments from the Deseret News. They did not want anybody knowing of my existence. And why? Because I deciphered Paleo-Hebrew. I revealed that I have the key of translator. And now you should understand, if you know Mormons, only the president of the church is a translator. Only him. So all of the Egyptologists, all of you parlez-vous français? Nope, you're fake translators. And it's true. The Book of Mormon gets translated into different languages by those who are set apart by the laying on of hands by their stake president when called upon to make a translation of the Book of Mormon. Because they think that's the only true translation. And that's the fraud that's being perpetuated. And so I was shocked that Gordon B. Hinckley not only said yes to the application to become a curriculum missionary to work on the scripture footnotes, but he said, I was told I came highly recommended. Now, I think he probably said that because highly refers to the office of where it came from. And Mormons believe that the prophet speaks for God, and therefore they assume that Jesus is the one who called me. But yeah, I was untouchable. Farms tried to get me fired. David Gaunt had tried desperately to get me fired or get me transferred out to a different committee. Couldn't do it. I was there permanently. Nobody could touch me. That's the Mormon theology, guys. But I was curious about that. And so I think that maybe he was hoping that I would be groomed into the evil so that I could elevate to become such and thus legitimize the church. But Hinckley died, and then I was arrested. They put on a full-on attack, and then while I was in isolation, I had a dream, and in that dream, I dreamed that Hinckley was in the dream, and gave me the key card with the number 77 on it to his office. I got the key of his office. I knew the dream interpretation. I was going, what the hell? They just locked me up for life. I'm never going to go free. Why are you doing this? and then 2014, there were several retirements where the Lamanites got drunk on their celebrating, and the new people who took over as guards did not know me, and did not know that I was supposed to be there for life. And I was set free. And then the signs in the heaven begin. And I'm like, what is going on? And so, yeah, oh man, I was going to have the... See? Looking for that picture messed this all up. Alright, and so I'm like, what are you doing? I'm never going to be able to publish any of the work. I mean, it costs thousands of dollars just to publish a book. And that's because of the discounts for self-publishing. So this was way back in 2008. And so I had no idea that I was going to be able to publish all my research on Paleo-Hebrew. This is the vocabulary theory test, research tests that I ran. See how thick this is? And then my dad threw away my font, and so the font didn't get identified by the new systems, and so I had to put a key in. Let's yeah, I had to put a key at the front of the book so that people could know which letter was what. So, very frustrating, but yeah, I was finally able to publish by getting out. Amazon allows you to do it for free. So awesome. It was CreateSpace back then. And then I was also working on the key of Seer at the same time. I don't have those books here, but I got tons. And like I said, the picture looking for that messed all up what I was gonna present. But here's the Paleo-Hebrew lesson manual. Thick old book. Amazon forces me to charge $100 for it, or $50. I can't remember how much for this one. It's all black and white. But and then here's the final alphabet decipherment. This is the key one. It's thin, but I had to charge more because I put coloring in there. And then here's the research of the Paleo-Hebrew alphabet. That's the thick, and this is the index basically, but this summarizes everything for you. And then I was also getting into translating Egyptian petroglyphs. Yes, the Book of Abraham. By deciphering Egyptian petroglyphs, I was able to figure that out. Why? Because I had the key of translation. And the church leaders don't. And that's why I was disappeared. And so, this is why they don't want me revealed to the world. And I put in my lawsuit against the church my intention to have the world's news, national and worldly and local, but not too much local, because nothing gets out of Utah if the church don't want it. But national news to be made aware of the case, so as protection for me, because the church wants this secret for the sole purpose of retaliation. And so it's my intention to make this go public, and they don't want this to go public, and the federal judges are purposely throttling the case. They're refusing to respond and allow me to proceed even though I was accepted for in forma pauperis, because that's what the church did to me by having me disappeared. And they think I can just go get a job and not publish any of this? That's exactly what they want. They want me to go get a real job and quit being poor that they put me into, and leave all this translation nonsense alone. Leave the church alone. You're picking on them. And so, I was publishing furiously. Hundreds of books getting published with the old files that I had and such. You should also be aware that the book that got me arrested was my petition for a redress of grievances in the form of a book, which I titled Modern American Utopia. And in that book, which did not get corrected because I didn't have fonts yet, and I couldn't figure out how to work it on Kindle yet. And so understand that if you do ever read the book or buy it, that's why you don't see the ancient fonts. But I put in my most recent discovery that Zeus, and if you know Greek, it has the masculine singular ending. Us. E pluribus unum, although that is Latin. And it's a little different than Greek. But Zeus is actually Za. The E is the Paleo-Hebrew He, which looks like a winnow. If you don't know what a winnow is, it's because you don't do farming of the ancient days. But the Pharaoh, for example, you see the cross and the flail. The flail is the winnow. And guess what? The Hebrew God looks exactly like in pictorial form, which is why the Jews don't use that form. It's not just because the Samaritans used it for their Pentateuch, but it's also because of the shapes of them would reveal the true identity of Paleo-Hebrew as not being Semitic. They gotta maintain their Semitic origins. No, you're not Semitic. Sorry, guys. So this whole anti-Semitism thing that's going around, so they're not Semitic. They're Egyptian. Try telling that to the Egyptian Arabs. They're your brothers. What? Hell no. Sheol no. And so, you know, and so then I was gonna start working on the vocabulary, because as you saw, I have done the research already, so now it was time to do the books like I did for the alphabet that I showed you. And unfortunately, the other key kicked in and activated. If you don't understand that concept, I wonder if you're watching Picard. Data's daughters. The first one got activated, and then she was blown up to nothingness, and so now Picard is looking for the sister, but they get activated because of who they are. They think they're human until they get activated, and then their true identity is revealed to them, even though they're a little freaked out at first. And so that's close to what I experienced. But I saw on Fox 13 News, Utah, on the 4th of November, 2016, the announcement that in August 21st, 2017, there would be a total solar eclipse. And I was like, and so the key of Revelator got kicked in at that point. It was earlier, but it sort of died down after the death of the three apostles, after the third tetrad blood moon. And so I just still assumed it was just a coincidence, kind of a thing that I only knew, a personal thing that I knew because of my education. And so, but once the solar eclipse, I knew that was it. We're in it. There's the signs. And so I put the key of translator aside and was all publishing about the key of Revelator and the key of prophet and the key of seer, publishing the warnings, publishing the complete book of signs. And as you see, I published it as a thick book prematurely. As you can see, the post-it notes that are in there for updates. But that's why the church doesn't want me known to you guys. Russia knows. They figured it out. Why didn't Mormons figure it out? I don't understand. Why does Russia know and Mormons not know? And so, yes, I was attacked online on my other channel. My computer was hacked. Data was stolen. They were just teasing me, and they even put data on my computer. I'm going through my files, and what is this file? And so I click in it, and this is weird. So I keep going into the files. They put files upon files upon files, and then I start seeing a list of documents and pictures, and they're disappearing before my eyes. What's going on? So I'm trying to find the information and click on something, and the computer is saying it's being used in another source. And what's going on? And so I immediately shut off the computer and turn it back on, and then come back to look, and yeah, they were trying to plant gay porn on my computer. And then they realized that I caught them and was going to delete it, and they were deleting it instead for me. Unbelievable. So yeah, my data has also been stolen, as Equifax was not the only data breach. They still owe me the $2. And yeah, my Credit Karma is telling me that my data has been sold and being used. Just unbelievable. So yeah, Russia knows. As Russians are emailing me saying, hey, you're a great translator. We'd like to see the translation work. Do you have anything done for us? So they're doing playing both sides with the church, not just with the government of America. That's what they do. That's part of the attack, is to provoke division in America or in the church, depending on who their target is. And then they split the church that way, cause Mormons to leave. So don't be surprised if you start seeing Russians in disguise revealing pro-translation stuff for the church and anti-translation stuff for the church. That's why the video I did yesterday of finding the gold plates pre-Columbian dating in Panama was what caught my attention. It was a video in 2018, so it was after the initial attack, which coincidentally corresponded to September, when they knew of the date. The Russians knew the dates in the heavens, the signs in the heavens. Mormons didn't know about them. Russians knew about them. Why are Russians knowing what the Mormons should be knowing? I don't understand. What is that about you Mormons? So, yeah. So, if you're not familiar with September 23rd, 2017, you don't know your book of Revelation, chapter 12. So, yeah. Alrighty. So, this video got completely screwed up because of the search for the picture. It was going to be presented completely differently. But, yeah, the church is after me, guys. That's why I need help with the lawsuit. They destroyed me financially. I wasn't supposed to get out, but they had this contingency plan that if I did get out, that I would be destroyed financially. So I need your help. It's just for the motion of service of processes that are required. So any help you can give me, click on the GoFundMe. And together you'll provide me with the sling, because the church gave me the rock. This is the rock that I was telling you about. But the church took away my sling. And metaphorically speaking, my tennis elbow is a legitimate tennis elbow as well. For both arms. Nobody told me as a kid that I shouldn't be doing this, because in my practice for baseball, I found out that I can throw a sidearm and it actually curves. It was really cool, but I didn't strengthen my arms at the same time, and and thus both arms now have tennis elbow. Yes, I'm ambidextrous. I mostly use my right, but I can use both. Alright.